We have an incredible situation that's taking place globally right now. The world is preparing for Donald Trump to win in November and potentially for an intermediate violent period during which bad actors like Putin may seek to cause even more global chaos. There is an article in The Atlantic, and I apologize that it's not really very visible here. What Europe Fears by McKay Coppins. And this lays out a terror sort of situation that many of our allies are developing plans for. Here is McKay Coppins on MSNBC laying it out. This is truly horrible stuff, and there's a lot to say about it. Let's listen and then discuss.
Fears of losing their most powerful ally that has translated into a pathologically intense fixation on the U.S. presidential race. Now Europeans are bracing for an America that behaves like any other transactional superpower. Several officials expressed fears that Trump would turn America's NATO membership into a kind of protection racket, threatening to abandon Europe unless this ally offers better trade terms or that ally helps investigate a political enemy.
So I report in this piece that the German Foreign Ministry is making contingency plans for the outcome of the American election in 2024. And they have plans for a Biden re-election, but I will tell you that most people in Germany and really most of the officials across Europe I spoke to do not believe Biden will be re-elected. They believe that Trump is going to win. Their plans for Trump's return involve trying to figure out how he will destabilize a wide range of issues, from Ukraine to NATO to climate change to tariff policy. And they're also trying to figure out who his confidants are, how they can get close to them. But this is what's really striking to me. They're also making plans for a third scenario in which basically there's a sustained period of uncertainty about the outcome of the election, accompanied potentially by widespread political violence in the U.S. And their fear is that in such a moment of vulnerability, that would be when Vladimir Putin or some other adversary decides to roll the dice and attack NATO or, do something really provocative because they believe that America would be paralyzed.
Now let's talk about this. And I encourage you to read the article. We're going to link to it. There is asymmetrical risk in these scenarios. So on the one hand, even if you aren't convinced the most likely outcome is a Trump victory and or some kind of violent period during which Trump loses but tries to seize control and there's violence on the American streets, the risk associated with that outcome is so great to our allies that it makes sense that they be prepared, and they are preparing. What do we do if Trump wins in terms of what will he try to pull the U.S. out of NATO? Will he turn his back on the U.S.'s ally? What will Trump do? So it's a high risk scenario, so you prepare for it. And then what if there is this pseudo lawless period, even if Trump loses, where violence is unleashed on American streets? And even if I don't think that's the most likely outcome, the potential downsides to such a scenario are so great that it would make sense to be prepared. Now, people are arguing based on this interview and based on the article, are they just preparing for every scenario or are they expecting this scenario? There are American allies that expect Donald Trump to win. Now, we've already laid out the case. I don't have any more to say. I think it's going to be close. I don't have any predictions. It'll come down to under 500,000 votes in 3 to 5 states. So yes, Trump may win, Biden may win. But there's two sides to this. Number one, if the United States does elect Trump to the Oval Office once again, how will our allies react in terms of their relationship with us? Those relationships, to say they were strained, is an understatement when Trump was previously president. But the second part of it, and this is the part with some real risk, how will our adversaries seek to cynically take advantage of such a chaotic period in the United States? And that's exactly what this great reporting by McKay lays out. How are our allies preparing for our shared adversaries to behave if indeed Trump were to win or there were to be some kind of violent, I don't like to use the term interregnum, but some kind of violent intermediate period between the Biden first term and whatever is to come next? They are taking it very seriously overseas. It'd be nice if everybody on the left took it as seriously as they are taking it. Let's take a quick break, hear from a sponsor or two, and then we'll be right back. Did you know that Americans pay twice as much for their wine as the rest of the world? The reason is because of laws that date back to Prohibition that ensure the right of wholesalers to make a big margin. It's actually insane, which is why I love our sponsor, Naked Wines, so much. Naked Wines is a subscription service that seamlessly connects you to the finest independent winemakers on the planet, so you get a case of the market's best quality wines, however often you'd like, for a fraction of the price you'd normally pay in stores. How does Naked Wines do it? Naked Wines connects winemakers and wine drinkers directly without the middleman, allowing for vineyard to your door delivery at up to 60% off of what you would pay in store. My girlfriend likes white wine. I like red. We'll split a case that has both, which Naked Wines makes very easy to do. You can customize your subscription precisely to your taste. So go to nakedwines.com/Pacman, click enter voucher in the top right, and enter Pacman for both the code and the password to get 6 bottles for just $29.99 with shipping included. That's $100 off and under $7 per bottle. The link is down below.